Welcome to our podcasts, Wise Black Nanas, Life Coaching Between the Dash. Hey, what do you do when it feels like life has thrown you a few too many challenges, knocked you down, in the bed, hard to talk about even with your best friend challenges, and it feels like the challenges are winning? Wouldn't it be nice to hear from your Nana? Or a stand-in Wise Black Nana? Well, they are Wise Black Nanas, Sharla Walker, PhD, and Joanne Early, MS, two mature women with over 70 plus years of combined coaching and mentoring, professional human resources, and business experience. The wonderful news is, these Wise Black Nanas are still living and learning about this amazing life, about resilience and grit, gratitude and appreciation, and the extraordinary power of love and friendships, being positive and supportive, and learning from others. Welcome to Wise Black Nanas. Let's listen in.
This is Joanne Early, and I'm one half of Wise Black Nanas, and I want to welcome you to our podcast. And this is a podcast where we talk about our lived experience. Dr. Sharla and I talked about things we've lived in this incredible life, things that we are currently living, and things that we are looking forward to living. So we welcome you, and we so much appreciate all of you loyal listeners out there, all of your notes, all of your comments, your phone calls. We appreciate you. Dr. Charlotte?
Hi, this is Dr. Sharla Walker, PhD. I'm glad to be back. I'm the other half of this dynamic duo, Wise Black Nanas, and so glad that you and I could get together and share with you some of our lived experience as we've gone through what we would now call what's going on. Since like everything is going on at the same time, and we're gonna kind of stroll down that memory lane a little bit and just try to take you down there and give you some little clues and hints on how to cope with that what's going on thing that's happening in your life. Not everybody's life, just your life.
Absolutely. As we were talking about, just thinking about, okay, so we took a little bit of a break and here we are back again. And hey, Dr. Sherla, let's just talk. We don't really have, a big topic, even though what's going on or what the heck is happening around us is a pretty big topic. We just want to, just kind of share with you, some things that's on our mind, how we are planning to move forward with the podcast. And, just say, hey, just checking in, just a big check-in. So as we're checking in with each other, we're inviting you, our audience, to stay checked in with us, and please keep listening. So what's going on, huh? I mean, every time I hear that old Marvin Gaye music, I cannot help but think about the period of time that was recorded. And it is very relevant to the period of time that's happening all around us today. But we're going to save the political upheaval or chaos or whatever it is we want to call it. We're going to save that for a future show coming to you real soon.
Yes.
But today we're just talking a little bit about what's on our mind. What kinds of things are we thinking about?
And for those who don't know, What's Going On was a song that was sang by Marvin Gaye in the 1970s, which is very old, but it's very relevant today if you listen to it. The same things are happening politically, economically. So thought I'd just put that in.
Yeah. Thank you. Dr. Sharla and I have been having some pretty tough conversations as we've been thinking about how to move forward with the podcast, our design, our format. We get lots of feedback from our listeners, so we know that, you really like what you're hearing, and that's very motivating to us. It's been very, very motivating to us. So we want to say, keep those comments and keep those notes coming in because we love that. We absolutely love that. But we're thinking about, okay, yeah, there's some things that we could try. There's some things that we could do. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Just how do we move forward? How do we have those tough conversations when, maybe we're dealing with other things maybe we're, there are things we want to say, but we're hesitant to say. How do you do that? How do you move forward with those things? So we came up with, our own little model that we've been playing with, kicking around. It's not necessarily one of the ones that we, are familiar with. We thought we'd create our own. We're calling it SPNA, SPNA. So we'll talk a little bit more about what that means. But hey, just generally, Dr. Charlotte, what's on your mind, girl?
What's on my mind? What's on my mind is a deep, deep, deep sigh.
All right.
It just seems like everything is going on at one time,
Always, always.
from little people to big people. It doesn't matter.
Right.
You would think that with medical situation that things would slow down, but they
Yeah.
haven't.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, life continues on. The same things come, come about. My
Yeah.
caregiver, she broke her foot, so that makes me have to do more, but that's okay. It's okay.
Okay. All right.
It's just like the decisions and conversations, hard conversations have to be had.
Yeah.
That I didn't think I would have to be making at this point. So on one regard is, and I was talking to you earlier today, I have been feeling useless, because I'm used to being, boss lady, this, being in the middle of everything. But if I sit back and reflect, like we talked about, I'm still boss lady in a sense, because they still don't ask the question now. It's just grandma, mama, and are either mentor or coach, coming back to ask questions that I may have answered 20 or 25 years ago. So I am
Oh,
needed. Um,
right.
um, so that's a good feeling. I can't forget that. I think
Right.
that's one of the things that recently retired people like myself forget. You think you have to be in the mix of everything, but I am. And I realize
So,
that I am, and I'm overwhelmed just thinking about it.
right. Right.
How about you, Joanne?
Well, as we talked, I agree with you. Things don't really change, especially in families. I mean, situations change. Maybe the players kind of shift and change a bit. But once you're in that uh, kind of head of the family or leader of the family kind of thing, that doesn't really change so much. Even when you are, as we talked, even maybe when you don't have exactly the same capacities that we might have had when we were, quote, a little less mature, a little less mature. Um, you're still in that role. You're still in that role. And I think the thing that we have to remember sometimes is just because we may have, had life throw us a curveball or two, is that there are still expectations and there's still things that, we are expected to do. And then there's still things that we want to do. Because let's face it, you still want to be in that leader of the family. Come to me with your issues and with your things, and let's solve them together. You kind of still want a part of that. You don't want to just be shifted off to a place in your home or the door closed and you're behind it. You don't want that. You still want to be active and engaged and part of what's going on. Because that is, to me, that is life, you know. That's life. And the more engaged we are and involved we are, the better we feel, I think, about ourselves. And I do think
Yeah.
the more we're motivated, to continue on, don't you
Oh,
think?
yeah.
Don't you think?
It's just things are just, there's no time. I feel like there's not enough time to really sort through everything and make a really good decision. It's that decisions have to be made very quickly
Right, right,
and without really a lot of research.
right,
And that's
right.
just the Since the nature of things that have been going on for the last, I guess, last year,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's you don't have time to use the analytical skills. You have to use the ones that are on top. You can't go deep.
Right, right, right. Well, yeah, I agree with that. And sometimes, you're forced to go deep. And don't you think, just with so much, we're living in such a politically high charged, polarized period of time right now. Don't you think that kind of adds to it? Kind of adds to whatever you're, kind of dealing with? Because it's like you can't go anywhere or have a conversation with anybody. I don't care if it might be the landscaper or someone that's working on your yard or whatever, and somehow you're just pulled into you just kind of pulled into these discussions, and I think that, to me
Yeah,
anyway.
I think that there is, for me, a sense of underlying fear about going anywhere, especially unknown,
Uh-huh.
and just moving to the state, not really knowing where to go, what's safe, or whatever. It just hampers the ability to really interact and socialize
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
get to know people and
Mm-hmm.
know locations,
Mm-hmm.
which that are friendly.
Yeah.
And I miss that. I miss that a lot because I've had it a
Yeah.
lot where I came from,
Yeah.
and it was nothing for me to hop in the car and go to lunch and make a connection, and then we'd make another connection and make a date for another time. But I haven't been able to do that here, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
perhaps that's missing. I don't know.
Well, you know what? I can help you kind of validate that, because remember, I moved to Florida for 5 years. And while I had lots of family around, I did miss, I think I mentioned this in a prior podcast. I did miss, my friends, and I didn't realize how much I would miss the ability to do exactly what you're saying, is call up someone and, hey, let's hang out for lunch or brunch or something like that, or just get together for a walk or whatever. You do kind of miss the familiar. And
Yeah,
so I think with, some of the things that you've been experiencing, I think living in a area that's still very different for you. I would say that you're quite legitimate in feeling that. Because on top of everything else, you're kind of dealing with a kind of an unfamiliar area. So you're entitled to that, I think. You're entitled to that.
yeah, yeah.
You're
And I'm
entitled.
thinking I really don't have an issue with going places by myself,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
lunch or dinner or to a show. So that's
yeah,
not the issue. It's just
yeah.
because of other reasons now I can't do that. I don't
Right,
feel safe. So
right,
I have to
right,
wait till I feel safe to
right,
do that. And I
right.
don't want to drag my younger folks with me. They don't want to go to a Motown special. They don't want to go.
They might.
They don't want to go see the hits of what's going on, Marvin
Hey,
Gaye or anything
hey,
like
I don't know.
that.
They might.
Yeah.
They might.
So it's just a
Yeah,
matter of priorities and just refocusing. And
yeah,
you made me think of that this morning. I'm being used, but in a different way. I'm when I
yeah.
use, I don't mean in a bad way. I
Your
mean I'm
your
being
your
utilized
role has
in a
changed.
different way.
Yes, your role has
Yeah.
changed.
So
For I think I just want to emphasize something that we just kind of said. For any of our listeners or anyone that's out there that has moved recently to a different area, a new neighborhood, usually a new neighborhood, not so much of an impact, but a new city or a new state. Don't be afraid to venture out, on your own, as much as you can. And again, as you said, go to that dinner by yourself, go and have lunch by yourself, because you're out, you still have the capacity to meet people and make new friends, and also get to know a little bit more about the area you're living in. To a large degree. I think that saved me a lot when I moved to Florida. I would just go and try a different restaurant or, some place and just kind of observe people and look. And of course, for me, it was like more and more I thinking, okay, all right, won't be coming back here again, or this is the place I really, would put on my list of
Yeah.
places to go. So you're right. Just I'm
Yeah.
sure when you're
I,
able to do that, you'll get back into doing that, you know.
yeah, I think also like when like myself for retirement, I took so long, but that was a goal that I needed to reach.
Yeah.
And that was to be debt free so that I could enjoy
Uh-huh.
my retirement.
Right, right.
And I was able, thank goodness, I was able to achieve that. But then, there's some medical issues came up, so things got turned around. But things are turned around in a good way now. But
Yes. Yeah.
I still, see us on the beaches of Belize, in the Bahamas.
Yes, we
So, I
we
mean,
both do love a beach
we went to
vacation, don't we?
Spain. So, what's kept us? And just think about that's the value that I can add to the good stuff of being uh of this chaotic or what's going on is the value of friendship.
Yes.
Real good, solid friendship. We known each other. God, our kids were little, probably when we first got to
Yeah.
know each other,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then we also have our own set of friends for different reasons, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's great to know that you can have a couple people. I don't have everybody in my business. A couple people that you can just like. I can share with you what I'm thinking about a marriage 50 years ago. You'll
Hmm.
laugh, but you'll tell me. You'll say, "What do you think?" I can't do anything about it, but it's just it gets in that what's going on. If I would have did this, what it should could, and stuff like that. But
Right, 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 right,
I'm okay.
right.
I'm
Great.
okay. I realize that I
Cool.
have to be okay. I have to be
Yes,
okay,
we have to
and
be okay.
and I want you to be okay. So when you need your time, I want to be there for you, so that, you can take what you need to do, what you do. So,
Okay, I know that. I'm counting on that. I'm
oh,
absolutely counting on that.
absolutely. There's no doubt. So it's like I said, it's utilized a different way, and I guess I need someone like you who can kind of point that out. Because before, when we were talking earlier yesterday, I guess it's like I feel useless. And then you say, well, you're not useless. Then you get the credit. I'm being used in a different way. Especially, getting a call from someone I still mentoring, and she got the HR job that she been wanting for about 20 years.
Wow.
Just to say thank you and
Yeah,
she appreciate me
yeah,
and
yeah.
named off all the stuff that I had done to help her. So I didn't know I was doing that. He
Jeez.
said, yeah, by you saying you weren't gonna do it, I had to do it.
Wow.
So that made me feel good. That made me feel good.
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely. And see, I do think sometimes it's those unexpected things that occur in our lives that um, we forget. We forget certainly, someone that you did some work with that long ago. You forget all those things that happened probably, but it helped her. It's still helping her. And I'm just so excited that she took the time to call and tell you, you know,
yeah.
and to say, I'm sure there was a lot of thanks and a lot of gratitude included in that. And that, hey, that boosts us up. That
Yeah.
causes us to, step a little lighter during the day. It really
She,
does.
yeah, she
Yeah.
consistently for the last 35 years, she's once a week. I'm calling you, tell you I love you. You're the bomb. I'll talk
Wow.
to you later. And just,
Wow.
just
How cool is that?
and we laugh. So, and she just moved to this area, so I will be able to see her again.
Oh, that's even better.
But
That's
you know,
even
you
better.
when I don't expect those kind of things, when I get
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
they're well received, and
Yes. Absolutely.
so
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, one of the things that we've been talking about and having tough conversations about is, moving forward the podcast and the direction. We have some great ideas and plans to do some things. So, we've really been talking a lot about having tough conversations because, we may not be able to do all the things that we've done in the past. We may need to look at our posting schedule. We may need to, look at how, the frequency
right,
that we're putting our programs out. So we came up with this, we came up with this little model that we thought, could help when we're trying to, I mean, we know how to do the SWOT,
right,
the SWOT, uh, how to use that model. But we thought let's come up with one of our own. So we came up with this model that we're calling SPANA, and it's
mhm,
to help us kind of look at the situation as it's SPNA to help us kind of look at the
right.
situation that we're dealing with, who the participants are, what next steps might be, and then whatever agreements we make. So we're going to test that model out as we're thinking and talking about things that we want to look forward to for the podcast. So I'm gonna wear my wise Black Nana's cap here and just ask Dr. Sharla if she has any comments about our model. I mean, we've just been kicking it around a bit. We want to refine it some, but what do you think, Dr. Sharla?
I think it's great. I mean, you know how enthusiastic I was at the first meeting, and with pencil and paper, and we were. I still have that same enthusiasm. I'm a little angry at myself because of other situations that you're aware of, but I think I can figure that out, and we can figure that out, and keep moving. But I'm really excited where we can go. Um, I think we have potential, a lot of potential to bust out and tell people what we're doing.
So one of our wise Black Nanas, especially when we've got our wise Black Nana caps on, one of the things that we caution each other about and our listeners is, let's let go of the anger. Let's let go of the anger and let's find another emotion or another
Right.
set of whatevers to replace that with, because we know that doesn't really get us much. Yeah, we all get angry sometimes, big things, little things, or whatever. But in the long run, that's probably not the emotion that is the most productive, right?
Right.
So, we kind of coach this in our coaching work, and we certainly want to, kind of practice what we preach with Wise Black Nanas.
Right.
So we're learning to, let go of that, let go of that anger, and let's replace it with thinking about all of the things that we're capable of doing, and just use that as a springboard to just kind of
Yeah.
leap into another phase.
That's true. I think when I was in a medical facility, I had a whole bunch of ideas. Nobody would bring me any paper though, because I wasn't supposed to do anything. But and I haven't shared all those with Joy yet, because we need to have just a meeting, a tough conversation about, let's lay it all out. Let's see, okay, where does it go? Where does it go? When
Right,
does it
right,
go?
right, right,
What's the time frame on that? We
right,
definitely want to look at getting some sponsorship. I have some very creative ideas,
right. I know
and
you
I know
do.
she's gonna look at me funny, but I think it'll work. But that's a part that gets me excited, is being able to create and make something on piece of paper come true. I mean, we
Got it.
would have never. 2 years ago, pen and paper thought that we would be in this place. And
No,
I'm so happy that we are.
no,
And we're so happy that we have our producer, Michelle, that has helped us along the way
absolutely.
to she's been out there with her shield and, you know,
Her Wonder
slaying the
Woman cape
dragons as
on.
they come after us and stuff. But we're more successful than we thought we would be at this point.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so we appreciate you,
Absolutely.
Michelle.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
but it's hard work. It's hard work. And we still have
A lot of work to
lives.
do.
It's almost like, oh, we are working. We are
Yeah.
working.
Yeah.
Working in a different way because we have
Absolutely.
deadlines. We're changing up how we're doing scripting for podcasts, so that's a change for us, and
Yeah.
we're playing around with different levels,
Yeah.
and so that's a tough conversation
Yep.
to
It's also
have, and
very
we have to
motivating
play it
too.
out,
Very
see
motivating.
how it works, tape it, see how the audience does with it, and then maybe change it or what. But we're glad we had the opportunity to just be able to create. So
Absolutely. We are grateful. We are grateful.
yes,
We are so
yes,
grateful. We're taking stock of what we already have, what we've already achieved, and we're not even looking at what we haven't done. So we're just asking our listeners as we close out this episode to consider how good your life really is, and then be grateful. Be very grateful for that. So, on behalf of Dr. Charlotte and myself, we hope you've gained even one thing from anything that we've said today. We usually close out our programs with what we call a Nanaism. And even though our episode today was just some conversation on what the heck is going on, we want to leave you with this quote, and it's from an unknown author. It says, the biggest source of motivation are your or our own thoughts. So think big and motivate yourself to win big. So on behalf of Dr. Sharla and ourselves, we want to thank you for listening in and tuning in to Wise Black Nanas. We want to invite you and encourage you to continue listening to our podcast. And please, please leave a note for us on our Facebook page. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into our podcast, Wise Black Nanas. New programs of Wise Black Nanas are on the 1st and 15th of each month. Listen in as you learn more about Wise Black Nanas, Dr. Sharla Walker and Joanne Early. They are everyday nanas. They are not famous, not celebrities or rich, well, rich in life and its experiences. We want you to come back. Tell your friends. So, look for Wise Black Nanas podcast wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Learn more about them and the coaching services they offer at www.wiseblacknanas.com.